Just to remind you about Judaism, that there are Adomites within Judaism, which kind of stir up the things. Now, my theory, and just a theory because I'm not for sure, only the Satan knows, is that about 20 to 30% of the Jewish leadership, or Edomites, not of the Jewish people, of the leadership. When you go down beneath to the regular people, you probably get much smaller percentage, because the Satan probably knows who's the Edomites and who the Israelites, and he has interest to put Edomites in important positions, and he doesn't want to waste his energy or money or time on putting Edomites as just the regular people. He wants to put them within the people that influence, that have power, have money. So if you look at the people like in the politician, banking industry, financial industry, religions even, I believe that many of them are Edomites. And again, I can't prove it, and it's not something I'm really interested to prove it, because it's not the issue. It's not a big deal if I'm 10-50% off from my mark, because my doctrine is not based on the numbers, it's based on the principle. And in the principle I'm right, because I don't know people if they're Edomites or Israelites, but I know that Satan how he works, and according to how he works, and I know that he achieved fairly good percentage what he wants to achieve, not 100%, but fairly high percentage. Then I know if he wants to put 30% of the Israelites, the Jews, to be Edomites, doesn't mean that he accomplished it all, but he probably accomplished pretty much of it, or a big part of it. Now, anti-Semitism, part of it is Edomites against the Israelites, not Israelites against the Edomites, but Edomites against the Israelites, stirring up things. Now, it's very interesting, because the Holocaust was against the Jews. Technically, you say that the Nazis didn't know who were Israelites and who Edomites. They just targeted Jews as Jews, and that's correct. Nazis didn't know to distinguish between Israelites and Edomites. If they could, they would have killed only the Jews who were Israelites. They didn't have any reason to kill Edomites, but they didn't. But there are people within the Jewish community in Europe that stirred up some of the reasons for the Holocaust, and they are the ones that escaped. And the victims of the Holocaust were basically just regular people. They're totally innocent. They were totally oblivious. But there is a script that the world is following. People in the secret societies, including the Jews, some of the Jews, which in the secret societies, are aware of those scripts, and they act according to make the script fulfill. And the Holocaust was part of the script in order to create the state of Israel. And therefore, I know that there are Jewish leaders that were part of steering the world towards the Holocaust in order to justify the state of Israel. And that's part of the ugliest history of the Jews. But this conflict between the Israelites and the Edomites, although most Jews are totally oblivious to it, is taking place, and is going to continue taking place. And the Satan definitely wants the Edomites to win, because he wants to change the prophecies of Elohim. And Elohim gave promises to Israel, and the Satan wants Edom to fulfill those prophecies. The reason it's important to him, because the Satan at least believes from his point of view that if he can make a one-world order which would not fulfill the promises of Elohim, but would appear to fulfill the promises of Elohim, he can technically win and carry this kind of world forever and ever, in eternity. And that's what he wants. Of course, he's not going to succeed, but at least that's what his goals are. And that's why anti-Semitism we always think of anti-Semitism as between the Gentiles against the Jews, but there's actually much more complicated aspect to that, and there's a lot of Edomites that's stirring up the issue, and just so people be aware of that.